Alright guys, another day and we're back for some more Championship transfer rumours. As always, we've got a lot to talk through in today's video. Plenty has happened since yesterday. We're almost at the halfway mark of this January transfer window. What have you made of your club's business so far? Let me know down below. But without any further ado, let's jump in. So Anis Ben-Semanni's loan spell from Sheffield United to Norwich City has been made permanent. This was one of the stories we spoke about, I think, last week. Always seemed like a permanent deal would be on the cards with the player not having a long-term future at Sheffield United, and from a Norwich perspective, I think it makes sense. We also saw Semi Silvera being recalled from his loan spell at Portsmouth, and then he's been sent out on loan to Blackburn for the second half of the season. This is one that probably makes sense for all parties. Didn't really get that much action at Pompey in the first half of the season, only making 5 starts in the Championship, and the drop down to League One probably does make sense for his development to get a little bit more regular game time. And we've also had confirmation that Matt Bloomfield has been hired by Luton Town. We did discuss this one in the last video, but it has since been confirmed by Luton. They've managed to poach him away from Wycombe, who have obviously been flying high in League One, and he'll be inheriting a Luton side who have been badly underachieving this season, taking over at Kenilworth Road with Luton sat 20th in the Championship. Just so happens to be the case that his first game in charge will be against my team, Preston North End, so I'm sure he'll be hoping for a bit of a new manager bounce in that game. But with Luton currently sat just 2 points above the relegation zone, he's definitely taking over at what is a bit of a precarious time at Luton Town. But Luton fans, I'd be interested to get your verdict on that one in the comments down below, and any Wycombe fans as well if you guys are watching, and what have you made of the last sort of 24-48 hours. But those are some of the deals that have gone through in the last 24 hours. Now without any further ado, let's hop into the rumours. Now we know that Crystal Palace have been in advanced talks to sign Millwall's Romain Esse. Well, it's since come out that Bournemouth are ready to rival Palace for his signature, and they're preparing a bid in the coming days. Now, from a Millwall perspective, this could be a good thing for them if they do get a bit of a bidding war happening in January. That will obviously raise the price for what he's ultimately sold for, but we'll have to wait and see though if Bournemouth's interest is genuine like Crystal Palace's is, or whether that's just smoke and mirrors. We have also had a bit of an update on the Tom Cannon situation since last time as well, with Sheffield United reportedly willing to pay up to £7 million to sign the Leicester City forward on a permanent basis. Now obviously he's currently out on loan with Stoke, where he's done really well in this first half of the season, but Leicester now have quite a big decision to make whether or not to leave him out on loan with Stoke for the remainder of the season, or if they recall him and then look to sell him elsewhere on a permanent basis. Now the clock is ticking for Leicester, because going off the latest reports, it's been claimed that Leicester only have until midnight today to decide whether or not if they're going to recall Cannon. Along with Sheffield United, who are reportedly willing to go quite big in signing him on a permanent basis, Sunderland are still keen and sniffing around the potential deal as well, so he's definitely one worth keeping your eye out. Elfsborg midfielder Timothy Rumour is being eyed up by both Luton Town and Sheffield United, but it will cost a fair whack to go ahead and get him out of Sweden right now. He's under contract until the end of 2027, and his club reportedly values him at around about 4.5 million. He does seem to be quite highly rated though, and being just 20 years old obviously has a lot of potential, and there's potential there for a lot of sell-on value in the future as well if he continues to develop well. It very well could turn out to be quite a savvy signing if either of those two sides manage to get his signature over the line. Once again, we've got Middlesbrough being linked with a move for Ryan Giles. The January transfer window wouldn't quite feel complete without Middlesbrough being linked with their former loanee. Now, Giles, since moving to Hull City, I don't think Hull fans have seen the best version of Giles. Even last season under Rossinier, I don't think he hit his top gear like he did previously in a Middlesbrough shirt. Thinking back to that 2022/23 season he spent out on loan with Middlesbrough, where he got 11 assists, sort of playing as that wing-back for Boro, he was absolutely brilliant for them. Since that point, I don't think we've quite seen him reach the same level, so yeah, it's interesting that Middlesbrough are keen to potentially bring him back on a permanent basis. If the money is right, I'd be totally surprised if Hull were willing to play ball with that one, but we'll wait and see how that develops over the coming days. Blackburn Rovers are reportedly among the Championship clubs who are interested in Leeds United forward Patrick Bamford. Now, Bamford's in an interesting position at the moment. He's not started in any league matches for Leeds up until this point. He's had 10 substitute appearances and has yet to get off the mark, having not scored a goal so far this season. While I don't think he's quite up to the level of, you know, a side like Leeds United gunning for automatic promotion right now. I still think he would be a useful asset to a number of championship clubs, obviously. Blackburn looking to strengthen their forward line. He is someone under consideration right now. The trouble with Bamford is he's still under contract with Leeds until I believe 2026, and I'm pretty sure he's still their top earner as well. So if he was to leave Leeds right now, let's say on a permanent basis, he'd almost definitely be taking quite a substantial pay cut, which I'm not sure if he's willing to go ahead and do that. A loan move could make sense, but given the finances involved in that deal, there could be a few hurdles to jump over before anything is confirmed, obviously. Earlier in the window, we had Wrexham who were reportedly interested. That seemed to go quiet a few days after it popped up, but Blackburn are now among the championship clubs who are said to be interested. Rovers fans, would you be open to that sort of deal? Let me know down below. And Leeds fans, what's your current perspective on Bamford? Another option under consideration by Blackburn this January is West Brom's Jed Wallace, who's definitely fallen down the pecking order at the Hawthorns over this last 12 months. You know, so far this season he's only started in 3 championship matches, has come off the bench on 17 occasions, so more often than not has been used as that sort of impact sub. He's yet to register a goal or assist this season, but thinking back to recent years gone by, Wallace has been one of the most consistent wingers in the championship, certainly in terms of his output, usually in terms of goals and assists. Now that has obviously dried up this season given his lack of game time, but if he is available for a move this January, I would imagine a few championship clubs would be throwing their hat in the ring there. Now on last time's video we were speaking about Derby and their interest in Bolton's Dion Charles. Well, they've since gone in an opposite direction and have looked towards the European market instead. Going off the latest reports, Derby have agreed a deal with Viking FC for Jars Jorgen Slaverson, with that deal being worth around 800 grand for the 28-year-old. It's an interesting one, obviously. He'd be coming over from the Norwegian top division. So far this season, he's had a pretty good track record of hitting the back of the net, having scored 17 goals in 30 appearances across all competitions. Looks like the sort of forward that Paul Warne would enjoy working with. You know, he stands at 6'1". His scoring record this season has been decent, and they definitely give Derby that little bit more impetus in the final third, which they've been crying out for recently. With one forward coming in at Derby, another could be going out. James Collins is attracting interest from a few League One clubs at the moment. Both Rotherham and Leyton Orient are said to be interested in the experienced forward. He's only really played a bit part role for Derby so far this season and is out of contract at the end of the season. Now up until this point of the window, we've spoken about Aston Villa's Louis Barry quite a bit on the channel. He's been linked with plenty of championship clubs so far, but are Celtic about to blow all of those championship clubs out of the water? Because reportedly the Scottish Giants are the latest club to be interested in the Aston Villa youngster. Now up until this point it seemed as if Aston Villa have been willing to either sanction a loan deal for Barry somewhere to go out in the championship for this second half of the season, or they've also been willing to sanction a permanent deal providing that the money is right. And going off the latest reports, it seems like Celtic would be quite keen on a permanent deal. Now if that was to happen, that would obviously scupper the plans of quite a few championship clubs who have been desperate to bring him in for the second half of the season. Given how well he'd done at Stockport, how much his profile has risen over these last 12 months, there was always going to be a lot of competition for his signature, but with Celtic now in the race to sign him as well, that's definitely one to keep your eye on. Millwall are said to be interested in bringing in Sunderland striker Aaron Connolly. Since moving to the Stadium of Light in the summer, Connolly has struggled to make much of an impact in a Sunderland shirt. In the Championship so far this season, he's only started in 2 league matches. He's come off the bench on 8 occasions, playing just 241 minutes of football. He was signed on quite a short-term contract in the first place anyway, but yeah, interesting that Millwall are sniffing around him at the moment. Norwich City are the latest Championship club to make an inquiry about Peterborough forward Ricky J. Jones. Now we've previously spoken about him this month and the interest that Cardiff have had in him. It's since been confirmed that Cardiff have had a bid rejected this month for the posh forward, and Norwich are now looking to sneak ahead of their championship rivals to go ahead and get that deal over the line. Stoke are still looking to bolster their squad this month, and they could look to use the low market to go ahead and do that. Spurs holding midfielder Tyrese Hall is reportedly one player being looked at, 19 years old, and a loan move out to the EFL you'd think would probably help him in his development at this stage. Guys, there you have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, make sure to leave any of your thoughts in the comments down below. Well, apart from that, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.